Okay, Leos. So weird, tough reading this week. And I realized that I didn't really, I mean, I kind of alluded to the title, but the title was something like why this is happening or something along those lines. And I realized there really wasn't that much, just it was more like what you need to do to get beyond it, but not really why it was happening. So we're going to try to narrow that down for those of you that watched that video, or if you're just joining this video and you have not seen the previous one. Basically, this is why Leos are dealing with like this strong person, this energy that will not let them go. All right, so let's see. So we're going to get a little bit more on that for you. Right now, I'm going to pull some of these cards to see like what they might say to you if they had the well, let's just say it, if they had the balls or if they had the ability. Maybe you've blocked them. That could be too. So we're just going to see like what would this what would Leo's. It's a general reading, but let's just get an idea. Okay, finances wanted to fall out. So financial challenges are affecting this connection, and that is oftentimes the demise of many a couple, quite frankly. So let's see what else we get, though. Okay, so what would this person want to say to Leos out there? To most Leos, what is the energy of their person? What would they mostly say to? Okay, thank you. All right. So many things remind me of you. Let's see. Clear your energy field and focus on yourself before acting. Okay, so we'll get. I'm not sure if that's actually. I don't feel like that's part of this. So let me just stick with this one right now. Not because it doesn't fit, but I was drawing from the top and I feel like I should have shuffled again. So the first one we have is so many things remind me of you and I can't stop thinking about you. So there you go. That right there will explain why you are still feeling this energy. Because if somebody is just constantly reminded of you, because nowadays, it's nowadays, but I mean, for some of you that are more my age or what have you, younger generations, I feel they're used to this, that grew up with the internet. But those of us who did not necessarily grow up with the internet, then it's a lot easier, well, not a lot easier, but it's easier for us to detach or move on or things like that. Or it's not that it is now, I'm sorry, it was easier for us to do that without the internet because we couldn't just automatically check their Facebook and see, what they're up to, or check their Instagram or, things like that. So, if this person's, just if you guys have been together for a while, things are going to remind them of you constantly. So that's going to be one reason why they are in your energy field. What else would this person want to say to you? What else would this Leo's person want to say? You came closer than anyone. So that tells me also that this person doesn't let many people in. They find it very hard to trust. They find it very difficult to intimacy might be like an issue. Not necessarily when I say intimacy, I'm talking about as far as that intimate connection where somebody really lets you in. Somebody, is super vulnerable and things like that. They may have a difficulty doing that, but you're the one that could do that. So, you definitely left an impact on this person. Okay, what else would they want to say? Anything else this person would want to say to Leo? Do we have any other story? Okay, so I feel that one. Okay, how about, is there any other storylines here of what someone would want to say to Leo? Is there another storyline here? Because this is a general reading of what someone would want to say to Leos. This karmic like situation kind of thing. Okay, thank you. Okay. So we have, I am not available. Okay, so that's another situation. And I am afraid to contact you. Okay. What'd you do, Leo? Did you go Leo on him? No, I'm kidding. Let's see. All right, so I am not available. Okay, so this is probably obviously some sort of third-party situation. Okay. I wish I could share my good news with you. Just popped out. And my life is not as together as it seems. Okay, so So we have this one situation here where somebody is definitely, having a hard time getting over you because they let you in more than anyone else they had in their life prior. Okay, that's why. Then we have this other situation of someone who, they'd like to say, that they are not available. I wish I could share my good news with you. So that could be because you guys shared shared a lot, maybe like you guys texted a lot when certain things happened on a daily basis or something like that. Maybe something good has happened to this person, and like the first thing they think of is, oh, I want to text Leo and tell them, but I'm trying not to go that route because I'm not available. And then when with this, my life is not as together as it seems. I feel like this person's just going through some sort of back and forth type of crisis, type feeling. Okay, let's see if we get one more storyline, and then we'll focus on what Leo can do to sort of what you guys can do to kind of balance each of these situations. So let's get one more scenario, please. One more scenario for Leos. So we have two pretty clear ones here. How about, is there one more scenario we can get for Leos, please? For the Leos, what would their person want to say to them if they could? What would their person want to say to them? Okay. Wait, the timing is not quite right. And soulmate, and I'm starting to understand our connection. Okay, so the first card is wait, the timing is not quite right. So this person feels like you guys could be together, but they want you to wait. So that kind of indicates to me it's a little bit of a third party or something like that. Or maybe that was this person with the finance issues or something like that. The card came out, your soulmate. Your soulmate loves, accepts, and respects you unconditionally. Well, okay, then why the waiting? Okay, let's see. I'm starting to understand our connection. Okay. So actually, though, this could be a tricky situation because there could be somebody who, maybe this person is involved in a relationship, is invested in a relationship or something like that, but has met you recently or reconnected with you recently and is starting to feel that connection, but maybe they need to wrangle some things to get out of their current situation. So it's possible. I mean, I do like the fact that it says love, accepts, and respects you unconditionally. I like that. If that's true, because this is just what they'd like to say to you. Okay, so if their actions don't follow that, that's a different story. Okay, so, and retreat is at the bottom of the deck with that one. So, which says time alone or in nature will help you recharge. So this person may be, like a fan of walking or jogging or getting out in nature or something like that. They feel like that's like their savior. Okay, so if that helps like give you a clue as to if that person is your story or not. Okay, so I'm gonna move these two over because these are the ones that fell out at the beginning, and I don't think those really come into play too much. Okay, so let's see. We got three different situations. So one of somebody pining for you, absolutely. Having a hard time disconnecting from you. We have another that looks like they are not available. And then we have another one that wants you to wait and is really like feeling this connection. Okay, so let's take the first scenario and see like what is the advice for Leo with the situation of someone who is just holding on to them. Their energy is strong. They won't let go. They just keep thinking of Leo. What is the advice, please, for Leos in this situation? This person just keeps hanging on to their energy field. What is the advice? Okay. Yeah. Okay, yeah, just being clear. All right, so I mean that's pretty straightforward advice. So, regardless if you are a female or a male, all right, because both came out here, it's just being just keep doing what you're doing. I mean, eventually, I did a video on this a while back, not too long ago, last month I think it was. So if you go to my channel and search, I don't know. I think I called it something like how to detach. It's just been my experience that when you're going through this type of energy where someone is just like really, their energy is so strong on you, and you're trying to resist it or completely, disband from it or what have you, then the answer that I've seen found, I don't know if it's for everyone, but the only answer I seem to find that works is time and space. So, and by time and space, that means because the thing is, if so many things remind them of you, you probably are in that same boat too. They're just looking at it from a different perspective. Like, they're looking for things to remind them of you. So they're going out of their way to do that. They're probably looking at your Facebook, looking at your social media, playing the same songs that you guys listen to, things like that. That, of course, that's going to remind them of you because they want to be in that space. Okay. If you're coming from the place where you don't want to be in that space, then it's like, you're just going to have to do your best. Unfortunately, we can't control what they do. So you have to do your best to just give as much space as possible. So even if you're like, in other words, if you're trying to stay friends with this person, that just may not work. All right. And Leos usually aren't like that. Leos are usually pretty clear when they're not interested in someone. They can be very blunt and very ruthless, quite frankly, when they are like wanting to cut someone out. So I don't think that's necessarily most of like your problems or what have you. But still, I mean, the thing is, there's probably things that will remind you of this person too. So, when those things come up, just avoid them as much as possible. Don't entertain them in your brain or anything like that. Just like create like some sort of mantra or something like that. Not a mean one. I don't suggest that, because it's like, the thing is, at one time you did have feelings with this person. So that is definitely something that I think a lot of people forget. I see so many comments, in videos at times, like, oh, I hope that, whatever, narc ass leaves me alone, or what, all those like types of things. And it's like, but that narc, whatever, was someone that you did have feelings for at some point. And that's part of our journey in life too, I'm not necessarily saying you have to like be empathetic for this person and oh, poor them, or, anything like that. Because obviously, I mean, if you're that angry with them or that like disappointed in them, you got that way for a reason, right? Because they probably were a narc ass jerk. Okay. But my point is that at some point it didn't feel like that. And, so there's that to consider as well. So it's like, I mean, if you just can't stand this person, you just want them gone and all those types of things, that's fine. But the more that because, the simple technology of this is, the more energy we place on something, the more of that we're going to attract. So that means that we have to also, in this situation, not concentrate so hard on getting this person out of our life, because the more that we concentrate on oh, I wish this person would leave me alone, or oh, I wish this person would leave, the more that we are putting that emphasis on that situation, and then that gets in touch with their energy. Okay, so it's like the best thing to do is, again, space. Create some kind of mantra. That's where I was going with this, and I got sidetracked. But again, not something mean, like, just something that just is a good trigger word for you to focus on something positive. So in other words, whenever this person comes up in your mind, have like a counter word, but that's something positive, that's maybe even completely different. So let's say, instead of this person, you want to focus on like your career. Okay, so think of like a keyword that might go along with your career, like success, or something that's going to make you think of something completely different than this person. Okay, so every time that comes up, just go to that keyword and get that energy out. All right, because if they are putting all this on you, then of course eventually that that's going to filter into your brain eventually. The other thing is, again, check out that video I did about like how to detach. That's a good, decent video, I thought, on those types of things. And then also, I don't know if it's in that video or not, but I mentioned something like about having like sort of a bubble, and I got this from somebody else's video. I can't remember who it was though. And like they're attached to your bubble. So it's like kind of do like a mental focus thing where you see your bubble and you see them, clinging on to yours, and just sort of gently, push them off into space, just detach them from your bubble. All these like types of tricks and things will help, but ultimately what I found is time and space. All right. And that's what this person needs. So if you give them any fodder, to feed on, then that just wrecked the time and space. Okay, so, that's what I see. But as far as the advice, I mean, it's pretty clear for females, or male energy, whichever. It's like, just keep doing your own thing. Females, focus on you, keep growing, all those things. Males, you may need to be very clear. All right, you may need to sort of draw the sword, the metaphorical sword of sharp words, not hurtful words. Okay, I never suggest that, but being very clear that no, this is not going anywhere, because you're not doing anybody any favors by hoping they'll go away or not being super clear with them or anything like that. Of course, that person's going to cling to hope. If you haven't given them any reason or super clear clarity, they're going to cling to hope. And even if you have given them that clarity, sometimes they're still going to cling to hope. That's when you do those other tricks I just mentioned. Okay. And the Fool card. Clean slate, new start. Start thinking of things that you want to see in your future. Start, focusing on those. Not focusing on how do I get rid of this energy. Because again, then you're just putting more emphasis on this. Focus on what do you want to see in your future. Start thinking of adventures that you see for yourself. That's where, we start switching up things. Okay, so that's for that pile. For the second pile, which is, I am not available. I wish I could share my good news with you. So this is possibly like a third party type situation. All right. So the advice for this one. What is the advice for Leos in this position with someone who is not available, but still like wants to have some kind, but still is obviously connected to this person? What is the advice then for Leos in that situation? What is the advice for Leos in that situation? What is the advice for Leos in this situation? Okay. King of Pentacles, usually married. King of Pentacles is typically like a married card to me. Six of Pentacles, breadcrumby, okay, and the World. Okay, so this one's pretty clear too. So the advice for this one, especially if you are dealing with a male who is, well, or if you are a male who's already involved, okay, that could be too. But if you are dealing with a male who is involved with, this is my husband card usually. So they're usually married or involved with somebody else or something like that. So with the Six of Pentacles here, I always mention Secret Tarot here on YouTube. Great reader. She's the first one I ever heard that mentioned this card as the breadcrumbing card. All right, it's like they're giving them like crumbs, So it's like, to me, also from that, like, to me, it means like taking that a little bit deeper. It's more of like my bookmark card. Like males tend to do this. Females do it too. Don't get me wrong, but I do see it quite more prevalent with males where, and you can't blame them if you're giving them the opportunity to do this. So, but males typically like to bookmark people, because it's like, well, I'm involved with this person now, but, I am interested in that Leo over there, but I'm also kind of interested in that, that Pisces over there. So, but I'm going to give that Leo some, just enough attention, so that they don't go away, because maybe someday, we're going to hook up and be together or something like that. But that's the way they think, they want backup plans. All right. So do you want to be anyone's bookmark? Do you want to be anyone's backup plan? Hell no. Of course not. As I often say, you're a freaking Leo. You're no one's backup plan. Okay. And that's what I see here. All right. So I feel like with the World card here, I mean, the advice is closure. All right. The World card is about new cycles. It's about ending old cycles and starting fresh, starting new cycles. Okay. Because I feel like this person will keep giving you just enough to keep you there. And I'm not saying they don't like you, or they don't have feelings for you or anything like that. They do. That's why they're bookmarking you, but that's not enough for you. All right. Would that be, I mean, when we do that to people, is that cool? No. And when they do it to us, is it cool? No. So it's like, I just feel like this person is just giving you just enough to kind of keep you there, and not because like they're just such an ass or whatever. I mean, maybe, but more because like they do like you, but apparently they like their situation they're in more, or they would have left it, because let's face it, you would, right? If you were in a situation where you were with someone married or living together, or just, have a boyfriend or a girlfriend, whatever, then it's like, but you found this other person that you really, really liked. Well, wouldn't you make some changes then? I mean, would you be scared to leave your person? No. It's like, we, especially women, we tend to follow our heart, and we're not scared. We're not, we will end a situation to go towards another. But it's like most males, they just get in their comfort zone, and quite frankly, there's a lot of security issues with males. They talk about females being insecure and things like that. And I'm not saying, because I mean, we are too, absolutely. But I just feel like this is what's going on with this situation, and there's no forward movement, there's no forward progress. It's like, this is bullshit. I wish I could share my good news with you. Well, then do it, dude. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, I am not. They wish they could tell you that they are not available. Well, then why don't they tell you that? Screw that. So you deserve better than that. I don't feel like, and again, I'm not trying to say this person's such a jerk or whatever. I mean, we all do this to people. You can't tell me you've never bookmarked somebody in your life. Okay. So, but the difference is, it's like, this is you we're talking about. And, you don't want to be in this position. It's not, nobody wants to be that. So this is about closure. All right. Closure with that situation. Okay. Now, last situation. This one's intriguing. Okay, because this one is saying, wait, the timing is not quite right. That's what they want to tell you. They want to tell you they do feel this soulmate connection. Okay, and they are also saying they want to tell you that they are starting to understand the connection between you and this person. They're starting to understand that this is like a soulmate connection. Okay, so let's see what the advice is for that. Okay, Leo's dealing with this type of situation. And if your situation was not necessarily covered, I would just listen to the very first one that I gave, because I feel like that's the best advice in any of these scenarios. Okay, but let's see. All right, so this one, though, is a little bit different. All right, so what is the advice for Leo on this? Because, again, I want to stress, just because this person wants to say those things doesn't mean that they are going to follow through on those things. So let's see. What is the advice for Leo in this situation, please? In this situation, this person is starting to understand their connection. They feel like they're a soulmate, but the timing isn't quite right. Okay, thank you. Okay. All right, that's a tough one. Okay. This one looks like it could go a couple different ways. All right. So these are pretty nice cards at the bottom of the deck. I feel like there is something to patience here, okay, with the situation. Now, I'm very, very cautious in saying this, because, I'm talking from a very much higher place. Okay, so like if you've been like waiting on somebody that's just not ever going to come around, and you deep down know that they are not going to come around, then the no. This is not saying yes, everything's going to work out, and happy family, everything's great, you guys go get married, all those good things. No. All right, but if you are in like a higher situation, okay, where you're not like hiding from the truth of the situation, like you really do feel like that this is going somewhere. So in other words, because I always say this, like deep down, we always know, like if something's not going to work out. We do know, but our mind will filter through 50 million scenarios of how it could work out. Okay, but deep down, like there's something like this like sense where we just know it won't. So if that's your situation, I don't know. All right, but if your situation, if you really kind of do feel like this is worth working on, this can happen, and that sort of thing, I feel that is true, especially with temperance in the center, because temperance to me is a card of special guidance. It is a card of like an angelic type presence that is trying to mix up the right alchemy and ingredients and emotions to bring you to connect you to. So, and on the outer side, flanking each one of these, we have these sort of like self-sabotage-y kind of cards, all right, on both people's side. So but right in the center is this like angel, trying to bring this together. Also, interestingly enough, temperance means patience. And, we do have this wait. The timing is not quite right. So there is something here about patience and tempering oneself, waiting, okay? The Five of Swords is a card of needing to be flexible and really hear what someone is saying, not just listen to them, or not just like, I stress this a lot. A lot of times, like I'll have a conversation with like a friend or something like that, right? And they'll say, hey, I don't know, I'm going through this or that or whatever. What do you think about this? And my typical style is to give people a little bit of tough love for, like kind of thing, but then also to kind of cap it off with the positive things. Okay. Because that's really important, because not all situations are just negative. So, but what I notice about that is when I talk to friends and I give them like advice or what have you, that all they hear almost all the time are the negative things that I've said. And instead of the positive things that I will, really try to drive home, because that's the way we are naturally. All right. Well, not naturally. That's not the way we are naturally. That's the way we are programmed, I should say, is to focus on the negative. So this is a card of somebody who's listening, but not hearing. And I'm kind of almost getting this may be your energy. All right. It might be theirs, but I feel it's because they want you to wait. They want to fight for this connection. That's what this card is. So I feel like this could be your energy. It's stubborn energy. It's not being flexible energy. It is, these people are trying to bring up points to this person, but it's like they just got exhausted of trying to get through to this person. So they just laid down their swords and said, forget it. There's no dealing with this person, because no matter what, they want to like win the argument. They're not going to hear like all the things. Another example I give of this card is like, this is like that crazy, uncle at your table at Thanksgiving who has the extreme political view, and you try to like kind of say, give them a little bit of a different slant on things, and they will never hear you. Never. Because all they want to hear is like what they see. So be careful, that like check yourself, make sure, check yourself before you wreck yourself. Make sure that you're not sort of doing that. All right. Like, cause this person's, I feel like, again, I really hate encouraging this unless it is like that higher kind of situation. But I really do feel like somebody is trying to fight for this connection. Okay, but it's for some reason, whatever that may be, for some of you, it's not the right time, and they they are sensing that for some reason. And well, not for some reason, it's because this angelic energy is trying to get to the right time for you guys. So don't self-sabotage something that could really be good. Like if you're really feeling this could be good, don't, do hear them. Do hear what they're saying and look at it from a different perspective, and kind of take yourself and your beliefs, your and I'm not saying you should wreck all your beliefs, just because someone's saying something to you, but sometimes like beliefs are more harmful than they are good, because they do belief contains the word lie, but it's I'm not saying that you need to change your morals or your principles or what have you, but there may be something here to be a little bit more flexible about. Okay, so that's what I have for you guys. I hope that helped clear things up a little bit more. And, I love my Leos. All right. So, all right, guys, thank you so much. And we'll see you soon. All right, bye.